Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Byung-Jo Choi, an emeritus professor at Gyeongbuk National University in Korea. And I'm the author of this book. This is entitled with Pulse Width Modulate DC-DC Power Conversion. And the spectrum of this book is very wide. So it contains a lot of information about circuits, dynamics, control, and some issues about power distribution system. About 1 year ago, I decided to open this lecture, this YouTube channel, in order to provide some online platform of learning of this power electronics for the student, for the audience who are interested in power electronics, particularly in PWM, DC-to-DC power converter, and DC-to-DC power conversion system. So for that purpose, I divide the scope of the book into these 20 topological categories, and the topic number 1 is PWM power conversion. That's the introduction about the PWM power conversion and the power stage component and the switching circuit in practice, so on. And it ends with asymptotic approach to design the line filters. So there are a lot of information will be posted in this YouTube site. Okay. Last semester, I uploaded 38 videos, and regarding this one, this buck converter and the frequency response and the closed loop performance and converter modeling. And I offered one graduate course in this semester, and that will cover this topic. It starts with the topic 9 and topic 10 and so on until topic 13. And the lecture video will be taken here and minorly edited and converted to the YouTube version and uploaded to the YouTube site as well as our OCW site for the internal use for the last 4 months, something like that. Okay, so as the natural cycle of this previous lecture, this current lecture will start this topic 9, which is power stage dynamics and voltage mode control. So this is the direct continuation of this. So from this converter modeling, the result of this topic will be used in this current topic, power stage dynamics and voltage mode control. Okay, so here we have topic 9, power stage dynamics and voltage mode control. I further divide this topic 9 into 2 subtopics. First one is power stage dynamics, okay, which will be covered first, and there is another subtopic which will be covered later, and that is about the voltage mode control. Okay, so the second subtopic will handle the control of PWM converters using our knowledge obtained in the previous topics. Okay, and so let me start with the introductory statement about this power stage dynamics. Okay, so power stage dynamics is explained using this diagram. This is the block diagram or a simplified circuit diagram of closed loop controlled PWM converter. So this is a very general structure. So it will be connected like this or other ways. So this part is called 3-terminal cell because there are 3 terminals, A, P, C, and I. So this part is called SBT switch, single pole double throw switch, or it is called the PWM switch. So this 3-terminal cell is actually PWM switch added with this inductor, and RL is the ESR, equivalent series resistance of ESR. So this part is here, okay? And suppose this is the input voltage and this output voltage. and our voltage sensed through this circuit. This circuit is called voltage feedback circuit. So you have voltage feedback circuit here. Let me use this blue color. Voltage feedback circuit, and it consists of this operational amplifier. We are assuming this OPM is ideal, and we have G2 and G1. This represent the impedance of passive circuit component, probably combination of resistors and capacitors. And we have this RX, which is variable resistor. This is called output voltage controlling resistor, because this output voltage can be controlled by adjusting this value of this resistance. Okay, and we have this voltage reference. This is the fixed, okay, at constant value. So this is tightly regulated. This is the absolutely fixed value, and this voltage will be regulated using this. Okay, so let me explain that feature. That feature is called output voltage regulation. So I'll explain that probably later. So let me explain this first. So this is a general circuit diagram or a system diagram for three basic non-isolated PWM converters. So you know the difference between non-isolated converter and isolated converter. In non-isolated converter, the ground point is only appears once. There are a single ground point and shared by input and output. That is called non-isolated PWM converter. So there is no isolation in between this input and output voltage. In isolated converter, we will discuss that later. Okay, there is just some transformer inserted in between, and the transformer is providing the electrical isolation or galvanic isolation between input and output, and the primary purpose of that is for the safety, okay, of human, for the user of some electronics. Okay, so you are talking about this one, non-isolated PWM converters. Three basic converter means buck converter, buck converter, and boost converter, and the buck boost converter. So these are three basic converters, non-isolated basic converters, which can be explained this one. So with different connections, suppose you have this X and A is connected, and I and G is connected, and P and Y is connected. Okay, then it becomes buck converter. Okay, so this can be rotated by 120 degree. Then this will come here, this will come here, this will come here, something like that. With this configuration, this becomes boost converter, and with another 120 degree rotation, it becomes buck boost converter. Okay, so this is a very general circuit diagram which can represent each of these three possible configurations. So we will be using this. All right. The reason for this is we derive some models. We derive the small signal models of this. Then by rotating the corresponding small signal model in the same way, you have three different small signal models for the three different converters. Okay. Okay. So this is that three basic non-isolated converters can be represented by this single schematic diagram, functional representation of the schematic diagram. Okay, and output regulation. I said that previously, this output voltage is should be regulated at fixed value, and that value is somehow related with this and this and this. Okay, so this is the condition for the output regulation. To achieve this output regulation, to maintain this voltage constant at the desired value in the steady state, there is one requirement. That requirement is this one. This is the impedance representation of passive component in between. And this is also impedance representation of this, okay? Maybe this is a connection of resistor and capacitor, something like that. Okay, very simple or some complicated combination. Okay, this means the magnitude of impedance of this one evaluate at DC. Okay, DC means zero frequency divided by magnitude of impedance element G1 evaluate at DC, ratio between them it becomes infinity. Okay, looks like this is a very hard condition to meet, but that is not true. Okay, if you have capacitor here, so at DC capacitor present infinity. So if you have capacitor and you have one resistor, then this becomes infinity, and so this becomes constant, then ratio becomes infinity. Okay, if this becomes infinity and this becomes infinity as well, you are in trouble. There can be anything. Okay, that is the indeterminate case. So for this, DC evaluate at DC magnitude of this thing should infinity, and this should be non-infinity, non-zero. Okay, some finite number. If this condition is satisfied, then our voltage is given by this equation in the steady state. During transient state, this output value will be can deviate from this, but in the steady state, it returns to this fixed value if converter is designed to be stable. Okay, so stability is the most important property of this converter. If the converter is unstable, this output voltage cannot regulate at fixed value, and this converter is useless. Okay, the stability is essential property of this. So we will be talking about stability a lot in the later. Then, if this condition is somehow satisfied, the simplest example is this one. You have one capacitor here, and you have one resistor here, R1. What is this? What is the name of this circuit? This circuit configuration is called integrator, or simple integrator, or Miller integrator. So it performs the integrator function, and transfer function of this is one some number divided by SC1R1. Okay, when S becomes 0, when we think about the DC, this becomes 0, then whole thing becomes infinity. It satisfies this condition. Okay, so the simplest possible configuration satisfying this is this integrator, but we don't use this. We use something more than this. Let the complicated one for the good reasons, so you will know good reason exactly later in later lectures. Okay, so this is the equation, right? If this Rx and Rx and this value, suppose we have R1 here, and this value becomes R1, then this becomes 1. Okay, then our voltage will be twice of this reference. So suppose this 5 volt, then this voltage will be 10 volt, fixed all the time. If you change this our voltage will be changed. But if once this is changed, our voltage, this is fixed, our voltage remain fixed after this time forever. Okay, if converter is stable, right? Suppose think about this. If Rx is infinity, then means this guy is gone. There is no resistor. Then output is this is 1. Output voltage is always regulated at this value. Okay, so it's obvious this output voltage is always larger than this or equal to this. Okay, so it cannot be smaller than this because of this relationship. Okay, so here you should understand the basic configuration of this. You can represent any of these three converters, and if this condition is satisfied, our voltage remains the constant, at the desired value, always. Okay. All right. So now we are talking about the power stage because the name of the topic is power stage dynamics. So for the time being, we forget about this part. This is the closed loop control thing. So just take a look at this. That means the power stage. So we are considering only power stage here. So power stage model of three basic non-isolated converter. So you know the meaning of this non-isolated PWM converters. So this circuit model. So if you connect this one in this manner, that becomes buck converter. So there is a terminal A, P, C, I. Okay, A is called active terminal because active switch is located here. Active switch is usually MOSFET or something else, BJT or something else. For the high power application, some people use IGBT or something other, okay, new device. And this is diode, which is passive switch. So P represents the passive terminal, and this is the common terminal. So this is the active switch and the passive switch. They meet here commonly. Okay, so it's called the common terminal, and the common terminal is always connected to the inductor for the good reason. Probably you already know this. Otherwise, you go to the previous lecture slide to find out the reason for this. And this is the ESR of this inductor. So if you wind the inductor, there is a resistor. Can be small, but there is a resistor, finite value. So this is the ESR. ESR means equivalent series resistor. ESR stands for equivalent series resistor. ESR, okay? Small signal model of this. You know the meaning of the small signal model. Okay, you should know this. Sooner or later, if you already know this, that's fine. Otherwise, you should learn this. Okay, you should dig out this. So this is the small signal model. So small signal model structure of small signal model is very similar to this, other than this part. So this part is simply replaced with this one. So this square, this rectangle with the solid line is replaced with the rectangle dotted line here. Okay, so it contains transformer and inductor, ESR of inductor, and it contains two dependent sources. One is dependent current source, the other one is dependent voltage source, and this is the small signal variable of this VS. Usually VS it can be a DC, okay, but we assume this is DC, and on the top of that there are some sinusoidal component. So I'm talking about this case. This is a DC, this is a VS, but there is some sinusoidal component. The magnitude of this is very small compared to this DC component, so it's called the small signal. Okay, small signal source, and this is sinusoidal variation with a small magnitude in load current. Okay, usually load current is passing through this. Okay, but this resistor value can be varied. But instead of that, you are adding this. Okay, variation here will be represent the variance there. Okay, so this is the disturbance or small signal current of load current change in load current. Okay, so we have two independent sources. One is voltage source coming from input voltage, and the other one is current source coming from this current I/O. I forgot to put this I/O here. So I/O is here. Okay, so change in I/O, and this D is something else. So D is coming from this is the PWM converter. In PWM converter, we modulate the width of this control signal. So control signal duty ratio is changing. You know the duty ratio changing. So this is a variation in duty ratio. So originally they are defined in time domain, but it is converted to the frequency domain, complex frequency domain, S domain. S represents sigma plus j omega. So S in general, S is sigma plus j omega. But if we are interested in only this type of sinusoidal variation, sigma is 0. Okay. So this we assume this is 0. So there is only sinusoidal component. So this is the S domain expression of duty ratio change, and this is coefficient. Okay. Coefficient is DC quantity. This is the DC value across this VAP. Assume this is buck converter. So they are connected in this manner. Okay. Then voltage across this is this one, VS. So this is the VS for the buck converter. So VAP is VS for the buck converter. And IC is a small signal component of current coming out of this common terminal. Okay, this direction. So if this is the buck converter, again, they are connected like this, then this IC is same as this IC is same as IL. So for the case of buck converter, this VAP is VS and IC is IL. Okay, so they are all DC component, right? We are talking about the small signal model of nonlinear system. Originally, this is the nonlinear sub-circuit, and we replace that with this linear circuit, which is a small signal model. So there is a linearization involved in between. If you drive the small signal linear model of nonlinear system, you should have DC information, right? For the simple example, you have some relationship, something like this. So this is the VI, and this is the VO, okay? Then expression is relationship between them is this. This is nonlinear, right? Linearization means you are assuming the input is somewhere here. So this is a DC input and the AC input. They are put together. So they are changing very small here. Then you take the tangential line segment at this point, okay, at this point. Then you assume you replace this nonlinear curve with this tangential line. That is called the linearization. Okay, this type of approximation is a linear approximation. Slope of this tangential line segment is called small signal gain of nonlinear circuit. You know this, okay? You should know this, right? It appears everywhere in electronics, controls, and everywhere. Okay, same concept is here. So for this, the small signal model, linearized model, the DC information of nonlinear circuit should be embedded here, like this. Okay. If this thing rotates by 120 degrees, you have different configuration called boost converter. At that case, VAP becomes minus VO. Because of this is rotated, the A is coming here, P is coming here, then voltage across this one. Polarity is opposite, so you have negative sign here. Okay? At that case, IC is reverse direction of the IL. So you have minus sign here. Okay? So this is due to the structure of converter. You have minus sign here, you have minus sign here. If we rotate this once more by 120 degrees, you have the circuit diagram of another converter called the buck boost converter. For that case, VAP is VS plus VO, and IC is same as IL. Okay? So we rotate twice. What happened we rotate once more. There are only 3 terminals. So one rotation, another rotation, you go back to the original circuit. There is the reason why there are only 3 possible configurations using this structure. Because this is a 3-terminal device, you have only 3 different choices, which is buck boost converter. Okay. Small signal model of power stage. All right. So we are talking about this. So maybe this, if you connect it in this manner, it becomes what? Buck converter. Okay. So this is the power stage circuit model. Right. Then you have 3 input. This is 1 input. Okay. As contained sinusoidal component in input voltage. This is the sinusoidal component in load current, and this is the sinusoidal component in duty ratio. Okay. PWM signal switch here is switch drive signal is something like this. So during this period of time, this switch is on, diode is off, and this part, this is off, diode is on. So this is a switch drive signal, and this switch length of this turn-on signal will be changed during the operation. Okay, and change this is something similar to the D. Okay, so this is another input source. You can vary this, or vary this. This on-time PD of this switch. So that becomes also input variable, and the only variable we are interested in here is this one. Why is that? You want to regulate this. You want this voltage to be fixed forever. So you should sense this. You should monitor this. So this is output voltage. Okay. It is located this output port, but that does not mean this is the output voltage. This is output variable. If you want to fix this one, this current through inductor, then inductor current can be output variable, which is not the case here. Okay. Output voltage here is output variable because we want to regulate this, and by the chance it is the output of converter, so term output is common. Okay, but that is the something accidental. Okay, all right. Then you can define 3 transfer functions. This is input variable, output variable, input variable, out variable, input variable, out variable, input variable, out variable is not feasible. This is not output, this is input. So there are only 3 transfer functions of your interest in here. First one is this. Input to output is called input to output transfer function. Which one is this? Input, output, and this is the linear circuit. It was originally nonlinear switching circuit, but we linearized it and derived the small signal model of it. So now it's a linear circuit. So in linear circuit, superposition principle, this principle holds, always holds. That means when evaluating transfer function from one here to there, then the other input should be considered to be 0. Okay? If you change this and this all together, then something will happen, but you cannot distinguish that result is coming either from here or some of them. Okay? To avoid that, this should be 0. Okay? Only this one is active, so input output is called input to output transfer function. This comes from the input voltage and our voltage, input to output transfer function. Okay? We have term frequency response. What is frequency response? Frequency response of linear time invariant system, which is this system, is steady state response of a system due to the sinusoidal input with variable frequency. Okay? At one frequency, you have one response, but you are interested in range of the frequency. Suppose this is one frequency, the other is another one. So 1 kilohertz, and 10 kilohertz. You are interested in two distinct points, and you are interested in all the point in between. Then you are talking about the frequency response of this guy, which is power stage transfer function. Okay? And consider this is the input. So this will excite this one, and this one, this excite this one too. Okay? But because of this is the linear circuit, you are considering this only one is activated. So this one is 0, this one is 0, but still this will excite this source. So this depend on current source as well as depend on voltage source will be excited. Okay, but this transfer function, still this transfer function is Dewey ratio to output transfer function, and evaluate at this frequency for the given range is called the frequency response, right? So term frequency response is coming here, and this frequency response is very important, extremely important. And the other one is this is activated, and this is 0. No, this is activated. This is 0 shorted, and this is 0. Then it's open. This 0 shorted with that condition, and this is input, and this output is called load current to output transfer function. Okay, and to evaluate frequency response of that, so you just replace S with J omega. That becomes frequency response of input to output transfer function, and the Dewey ratio to output frequency response, load current to output frequency response. Okay? You learn this concept a lot, okay, in other courses, the same concept, okay? We linearize the PWM converter, then it becomes a linear model. So all the theories you learn from the undergrad course for the linear time invariant system, Laplace transformation, transfer function, Bode plot, neutral cos, many things can be used here directly. Okay, so you should understand that. All right. So this is the outline of this subsection topic 0-1 power stage dynamics. This 3 pages are just the introduction to the topic number 9. Okay, so we have this. Okay, based on the previous discussions, we will be discussing this power stage transfer functions and their frequency response of 3 basic converters. There's the first one, and another one is this one. There is 0. You know the concept of the 0, pole and 0 of linear transfer function. Okay, so this pole and 0 will come in the RHP or LHP. Okay, this is the S domain plane. This is sigma, and this is J omega. Okay, this side is what? RHP. Right half plane of S plane, and this is the LHP, left half plane of S plane, LHP. Okay, so usually poles of transfer function of any stable system, they should come here. For example, this is the real pole, and this is the complex pole, which always comes as a complex conjugated pair. Okay, if pole is in this side, system is unstable. Okay, but 0 can be either side. For the real 0 can be here, this LHP, or 0 can be here. Okay, so 0 is totally independent of stability of system. Pole determines stability of the system. So 0 can be LHP and RHP. Okay, but usually 0 is also coming LHP for the most cases. Okay, and some special cases 0 is coming in RHP. That is the special case, and people call it non-minimum phase system, which is very strange system. But in power electronics, this RHP0 is common. Okay? I said there are three different types of non-isolated converter: buck converter, boost converter, buck boost converter. So buck converter does not have RHP0, but boost and buck boost converter, all the isolated converters derived from those two converters has RHP0. Okay, so this is very special things in general, but for the power electronics people, this is common things. Without RHP0 is special things. So you should pay special attention on this, and you should have a clear understanding about this RHP0. So it is treated separately. So this RHP0 is coming in boost and buck boost converters. Okay, only buck converter does not have RHP0, and all other converters have RHP0. So this is very important. And the DCM transfer function, the operational mode of any PWM converter, there are two different operational modes. One is CCM, another one is DCM. Okay, maybe mostly you are thinking about the CCM, which stands for continuous conduction mode. Don't use term like continuous current mode, something like that. It's a misnomer. That's wrong name. The only one name is continuous conduction mode, and another operational mode is DCM, discontinuous conduction mode. So we are talking about here was CCM. Implicitly we are assuming the CCM. Okay, so we are CCM. So CCM can be considered common. Okay, and we treat DCM separately. So we'll discuss that. Maybe not. You should know that in advance. Okay? We only discuss the dynamics of DCM. Okay? Definition and circuit property of DCM story has passed a long time ago, so I cannot repeat that. If I repeat everything, we cannot move forward. Okay? Please understand that. And we are talking about this is a non-isolated converter. There is no transformer in between, but there are many converters which has transformer in between. So we will be talking about this. Power stage transfer function of isolated converters, but the result of this non-isolated three-phase converters can be modified this with extremely trivial or minor modification. So you don't have to worry about this, but you should understand what you are learning. This CCM with non-isolated converter, then knowledge can be transferred very easily to this one. That means you will learn the dynamics of all PWM converters basically. Okay, so